How's it going? Ooh. Hey. Ooh.
All right.
Oh man.
You know, you're a week into camp, and obviously, you know, at some point you got to kind of make a depth chart. I'm not asking for that, but
yeah.
What are the separators? What are the things that you're looking at to decide who's one, who's two, who's three, those things?
Just consistency. You know, being an everyday guy, being the same guy every day. You know, it gets tough during the season. I just want to see who I'll be able to count on. That's it. Those guys that show up every day, those are the guys who I want to go to war with.
Matt had talked to you the other day about positional flexibility with Quentin, Malcolm, and
Yeah.
Tommy. What do you mean by that? Where you see those guys in action right now?
Like I said before, those guys, they're all just DBs, you know. I want to get them all ready. You know, I might need Malcolm at safety. I might need Quentin at safety at some point. I may need Tommy at safety at some point. So the more that they can do, the more they can do. So I just want to cross-train them and make sure that they know what they're doing. If I have to throw them in an emergency case, something like that.
That'd be Rover too?
The Rover's a little different. I kind of cross-train the safeties at Rover, but the rest of it is all the same thing.
Coach Rule mentioned that Tommy has been a big turnaround guy. What's that picture look like?
Consistency. You know, I think that's where it starts. You know, those guys just coming and showing up, being the same guy every day, attacking it, trying to work hard, you know, trying to be the brand that we set for ourselves. And I think he's done that. Quite honestly, I think the entire group's done that, so I like the direction that we're headed in.
Evan, what do you see from Gifford?
Everything that I need to see. He's tough, he's competitive, he works his butt off, he's relentless, he's disciplined, he's a violent player. He's the captain of that group. You know, he's trying to push us to somewhere we haven't been, so I appreciate that from him.
Coach Rule mentioned Gifford's mentality. I'm sure, have you seen that evolve since you were fall to spring? Just how he approaches it?
From fall to spring or from spring? Yeah, for sure. He's growing more confident in himself, and he's stepping out of his shell a little bit more, you know, getting on the guys and trying to push them. Like I said, he wants it really bad. You know, he wants it as bad as I do, and he's bringing the group along. So yeah, it's been good.
How have you seen? This has been a tough camp, maybe a little bit different for some of the players. How have you seen them manage, not the dorm stuff, but just the stuff out on the field so far?
It's all the same to these guys. They attack every single moment, every play, every day, every week. It's all the same, and that's where I'm just trying to get the mindset to. Just attack everything. Whatever's in front of me, I attack it, and that's it. That's where we're headed.
How are they doing with that? Like, have you?
I've been pleased. No, I've been pleased. You know, I think from the time we got here in November to now, we set the expectations out, and as coaches, we set the standard, and I just expect the players to raise the standard. You know, they can meet the standard because the coaches won't tolerate less than that. But I think they need to go over the standard, and I think that's what we've been trying to do, especially with Giff and Quentin and Malcolm and those guys. They've been trying to push it. Tommy, Foley, those girls, they work. Deshaun, those guys are working, so you'd be proud of the effort.
Now you have talked about Corey Collier. He has a lot of football in him, but he did out of him.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? What do you see?
Just an everyday grind. You know how it is. Some people are ready before others. You know, it takes some time for some people. He's just attacking it every day. You know, I'm proud of his effort. He's been working, fighting through some injuries, and that's it. That's all I can ask for.
Is that physicality?
No, I have zero problems with Corey's physicality. He is a physical person. He wants to be tough. He wants to be physical. Zero problems with that. It's just a day-to-day grind, you know. All players go through it. It's just a day-to-day.
How have you seen some of those young guys jump into the mix and anybody standing out?
Yeah, all of the young guys. You know, they just fall right in line. When you have leadership at the top, but the way we do, those guys just follow, they fall right in line. They don't really know something different. They just know what Giff is doing and what Deshaun's doing and what Quentin's doing, what Tommy's doing, what Foley is doing. You know, they just go. They jump right into it and they go. They follow.
Is Eric Fields an interesting piece at Rover?
Yeah, I love Eric Fields. Eric Fields is like the other freshman, trying to figure it out. But he's 1,000 miles per hour. He works his butt off and he's learning. So I'm excited about where he's going.
What have you seen from Omar Brown? He played a lot of college football.
Yeah.
Where's he at?
Yeah, I think Omar could be one of our better players. again, the day in, day out. You know, he's trying, he's working at it. He's very gifted, you know, and we'll pull him through it. He's just got to keep working, and that's it.
You have a good mix of talent and experience.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea of how many guys may rotate into a given game?
So right now, I'm just trying to lay the foundation as far as training camp is concerned. I'm not really worried about the depth chart. You know, those things, it'll play itself out all the way through the season. Like, midway through the season, I won't know, you know, and we'll just keep working at it, keep shuffling it around, and just see who's available and who's accountable, and then we'll go from there.
One more thing on Tommy, was there a specific moment you point to where you kind of saw things change with him since you've been here?
Yeah, Tommy's been through a lot of adversity. He's had a lot of practice bouncing back, and the light bulb is going on, you know. I haven't seen him in a game situation, so I can't fully tell, but I like the direction he's headed in, and we'll see where it lands. Yeah. No, go ahead, I'm sorry.
You mentioned that it's kind of a competitive group.
Yeah.
How do you kind of balance that competitiveness in practice with lifting up your teammates and teaching you like these guys are?
I like to fuel the competitive fire. I want them to be competitive. I want them to fight nail and tooth and claw and scratch for everything they get. I want them to compete at everything, because that's what life is. Just showing up and competing, that's it. So that's how the room is going, and that's what, I mean, I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to seeing them.
You've been around Bull a lot in your lifetime and in your coaching career.
Yeah.
How would you assess him at this moment? Like, how do you feel like he sees this team and this camp?
Man, so I've been around him a long time, and I've been around him long enough to let you know that it's just day to day. I don't think he's looking at big picture right now, even though in some cases that's his job. I just think it's day to day, just meeting, practice, to meetings, to walkthrough, to meetings, to dinner, to snack, and just one moment at a time. That's how coach is thinking about it.
I'm sure you've been around coaches who aren't like that too.
Right.
What do you like about his approach to staying very much in?
Right. I believe what he believes. I think that's the only way. I think you look too far ahead, it could get overwhelming. You know, I think you just attack it every day, every play, every second, and just try to maximize the time you have.
How have you guys done with takeaways and
Say that. I'm sorry.
what takeaways just in practices? Have you
Like turnover. Like
yeah.
okay. What? Say that again.
Just how have you guys done with it and just that challenge you put forward for the guys
Yeah.
to be game changers?
Still working at it, still trying to punch the ball out, still getting on the jugs, you know. We don't want to miss very many opportunities, so we're just working at it. You know, trying to put that at the top of the priority list, trying to get the ball over, turn the ball over, get takeaways.
How has learning the 3-3-5 been for you? How has that affected how you coach your group?
Anytime there's something new, you know, I just attack it, just like I ask my players to do. It's a secondary is a secondary. Cover 3 is cover 3. Quarters is quarters. Cover 2 is man's man. So small adjustments here and there, but it's all just football. You know, expanding my knowledge base. That's it. Can I say one thing? All right, Evan and Madison, your dad loves you, and I'm proud of you. Can't wait to see you. Good.
Thanks, all right. Appreciate it.
What's going on?
And that was the kickoff teams, the left teams. You have tryouts for those, or how's that working?
Yeah, the kicking job. They're all open, I guess, so to say. But you know, who we kidding, right? But the kicking job is battle between Tristan and Timmy for both jobs. Brian's involved in the kickoff job as well. He's doing a nice job with that. You know, the fine line this time of the year is, trying not to do too much in terms of like getting a bunch of kickoffs and then having Brian punt and then making sure he's got his time off. So we're just trying to, be smart about how we're separating all that. But I mean, I think Brian's going to be our starting punter. I don't think there's any secret about that. But the kicking job I see as something that's going to extend at least for the next couple weeks.
Do you feel like you need to give the guy who's going to kick against Minnesota as a place kicker like ample time to prepare mentally, because you need to know like that entire week of that game?
Yeah, I think so. But again, that I would love it for somebody to jump out and win the job. So as long as it's even, we've got to do our due diligence in making sure that we're preparing both guys right now to get ready. One of the things that we're doing is, so we have a rack out there with the team, in front of the team, so then we bring it to another location and we continue the rack and say, these are the competitive kicks, even though we're not there. So I let the guys know these are the competitive kicks for practice that we're judging, who's going to win the job off of, and then there's other times where we're just working and trying to get better. Ideally I'd like to give them a week before that game, but I'm trying right now. I feel like I'm doing the best I can, or we can, Coach Rule and I, to prepare both guys. Like, you guys both going to be ready to play as of right now. So getting them enough kicks, getting them the same amount of kicks they would have as if they were the starter right now.
Will they be the same two guys for kickoff then, or is there anybody else?
Brian's involved in the kickoff too. So those three guys right now are involved in the kickoff job. And all three of those guys are good on the kickoff. So I'm not concerned about either job, because they're both kicking the ball well. So it's not like they're struggling. So we're making a fair amount of kick. We're over 75% on the kickoffs, which isn't good enough, but they're both making enough kicks where I can see with a little bit of improvement we might be okay going into the year. Brian's the holder. Yeah.
Tristan has kicked in big situations in high school, and Timmy, of course, has a lot of experience in college. How do those things balance out? Like, does the kicking at Memorial Stadium in a state championship, does that like give you as much confidence in a guy and what he might do on a big stage in comparison to somebody who's actually been out there?
That was recruiting, and now we have an eye on them now. Now it's the competition here. I'm watching exactly what's in front of me now. But in the recruiting process, I think you and I have talked before, Sean, about like making those kicks was really critical for him being here, because I think that's one of the concerns you have with the young guy. I can tell you this, the moment is not too big for Tristan right now. So he's out here right now kicking, and he doesn't look like he's a freshman with a deer in the headlights. And it's great for Timmy. I've been doing this is my 35th year coaching college football, and very few years has intense competition at any position, whether I was coaching the O-line or tight ends or now special teams. Competition almost always is good for everybody, and I think right now I'm really pleased with how those guys are pushing and supporting each other, with Brian in the middle. It's a really good, fun room. I told those guys yesterday or the day before, I'm like, man, I love coaching this room right now, because there's a lot of positive energy, and there's a lot of guys working on their craft to get better.
There's a variance between Tristan and Timmy that they do one thing better. Does anyone have a little more distance or a little more accuracy?
It's too early to tell that right now. No, just still working on it.
As a coach, do you have to provide like a clear outline of what exactly the person that's going to win the job needs to do? Well, to these guys, like, do you have to let them know in advance, or do you just put them out there?
No, I mean, the number one parameter that we're looking for right now is percentage of kicks through the pipes. And the one thing that's really good is, like, you're coaching the tight ends, and you get into the scrimmage, and so grades out at 84%. And this guy plays better, but he ends up grading out at 78%. This guy's clearly better, but his grade's lower. And like, you got to now explain that to the guys, like, this is it, And tight end's a little different, because you can play more than one, but it's relevant when in the field goal game, it's really kind of cut and dry. There might be some other factor, but right now we're just trying to see who's going to put the ball through the pipes at a higher level. So that part of it's at the kicking position makes it a little bit easier.
Is there a spot from where they're kicking from where it matters more that their accuracy would be higher? So like, if a guy's better at kicking at 45 yards and someone's better at kicking 50, or maybe at all?
We could do that. I mean, I've done it in the past where, like, so-and-so, we did this at Baylor, where like so-and-so was going to kick 45 and in, and this guy had a better leg, so he was going to kick further out. I don't see that right now, but I don't have a total handle. They're both capable of making kicks from a pretty far distance. So what I'm doing right now is just quantifying who's, it's kind of like a graphic of who's better from what this. But honestly, right now, I'm not even into that part of it because it's still kind of early for me. I'm just collecting data, and I'm just trying to collect data and see who's making more kicks from whatever distance it is.
Who's been getting reps at returner? Do you have a sense of what that'll look like?
No, I don't. I can tell you Billy Kemp is going to be our punt returner or in the top group. So right now, Billy and IGC are the guys on the punt. Some of the young kids are doing okay. But the kickoff return job, I think, we're not quite as far along, and I knew that going in. And it's it's hard because we're still doing a lot. We just put the pad today. We've only had pads on for one day, so like there's a part of that kickoff return job that's going to be like kind of. We got to send some guys down there at him and see who's going to get up in there, kind of fearless factor to that. But we got some guys that are catching it and tracking it pretty well. I think that job will be okay.
You added a lot of athletic freshmen. How many of those guys could maybe help you play special teams and maybe go beyond 4 games this year?
There's a few. The whole group, and I don't want to get into any specific names because some of it becomes a general manager thing. So I'm just trying to get them all better right now. But definitely. There's freshmen that can play on special teams, and they certainly can be. They're certainly projecting right now as a number of them that are backups right now that I can see starting for us. Come mid-season, whether that's because of injury break, they've earned it or whatever. But they're definitely there's definitely a young group out there that's running around. They're having fun too. They're great to coach.
The track numbers, the triple jump numbers, all these things that you brought in, does that show up in special teams? You guys run and get down the field?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. The speed and the high speed, I call it high speed decision making, right? But you can't have high speed decision making if you don't have high speed. So we have some guys with high speed right now that really are learning very quickly, but are getting down the field very, very fast, and that's good to see.
Do you have an impression of feedback from players about how tough camp has been, or if it's different than what they've had in previous years?
No. I don't ask them that. Like, I'm not one of these guys that's like, how are your legs today? Or like, that's just me. Somebody else might be able to give you some better feedback on that. I've heard some things along the lines of, hey, it's great to work on this. Like, we didn't work on this. And this is or saying something like, this is the first time I've worked on this, coach. Give me some time. But I don't really worry. I can't worry about that. I'm trying. I have a plan of what we need to get in on special teams to be ready to play the first game, and we're on track. We're on track to do that, and we got a whole lot of guys bought in to doing that. And coach is awesome because coach threw a situation at us today that was like end of game situation. Game's on the line. It comes down to a kick, and there's a messed up situation, and we got to make it happen, and we didn't get it done. And I can't look at coach and be like, well, we didn't work on that, or we didn't talk about that yet. That's learning on the job, and we got that done today, and we need to do a whole bunch of that. But we're just trying to learn and get better every day.
That's kind of what Bull's like. Like he'll just throw situations and you guys as coaches are just expected to kind of know what to do.
Yeah, hopefully you have so much you can put in, and hopefully you have it in. But if not, for me, it's making us better. So when I was a younger coach, I'd be like, I would have been out on the field, but coach, I didn't put that in. He doesn't care. Like, he's not, and the game doesn't care. Like, no, I'm not going to be able to say after Minnesota, I'm not going to stand before you and be, well, I didn't put that in, guys. That's on me. But like, we all got to learn and get better, and those situations make us all better. I would play as much situational football on special teams as I could if I could do it all the time. I've got some skills to build right now, but as we get into it, we're going to try to do a lot of those situational things in practice. When we get into those later days in practice, throwing all those different kicks at them, all those surprise kicks and all those kickoff returns that end up going all over the place. That's an example of something that we'll try to do, but like just trying to keep them on their toes.
As much as you've been around the state, it's easy to forget that you haven't been out yet on Friday nights in the fall. Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah.
In September, there should be opportunities with some home games for you to go out and see some.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting out to. I would love to be able to go to some of these places that I've been to, in the spring and in December, and see what they're like on Friday night. I'm huge into that. It'll be interesting to see what the opportunities are to do that. My number one goal on Friday night is going to be like, how can I get the team ready and then go get a game? So I don't know how far I can get or how that's all going to work schedule-wise, but I can imagine after seeing some track meets out in the central and the western part of the state, I can only imagine what a Friday night football game is like.
The guys put any pranks on you in the dorms yet?
No, and I told him my son is involved in all that crap. So I told him, I said, if you do that to me, you're cleaning it up. So I've hedged my bets against all that nonsense. But I got enough of a sense of humor that I'll be all right. But there's a bunch of younger guys that deserve all that stuff. I'm good. When I walk into the dorm, I'd like to go to sleep within about 6 minutes if I can.
All good, guys? Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, how's it going? Good, how are you? Good. Yeah.
Ryan, how you doing?
Good, you?
I'm good.
What's up, Steve? How you doing?
Hi. I know you're always working on your craft. What's a particular focus for you right now? Or
Yeah, everything pretty much. But working kickoffs right now, it's really important for me to get back into the game shape with those. I did those my freshman year at Montana and didn't do them last year, so I just need to continue to refine my plant foot, kind of the depth of where it's at. And then also on my punts, on my drop, it's been turning a little bit lately, so I've been really hitting those hard, walking up and down the dorm halls doing my drops at night, so that's been good.
is kickoff something you've wanted to do since you got here?
Yeah, last year I really didn't focus on that too much. Brendan Frankie was our kickoff guy last year, and he has a massive leg. So I got here, I saw him hit some kickoffs, and I was like, wow, that's really good. So I'm going to let you do that, and I'll just keep punting. But this year for sure is something I want to bring into my kind of repertoire, my tool bag, and I'm super excited to have the opportunity to work on that along with Tristan and Timmy. And Coach Foley's been giving me a ton of tips on that, so I'm just really excited to see what we can do this season.
You can do something like that with an eye toward professional football and kind of being able to do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, for sure. It just makes you more marketable. The ability to kick off is something that not all punters coming out of college have, and so I'm very aware that if I'm able to do that, it might set me above someone else who's maybe a comparable level of punting. But first and foremost, I'm here working to be the best kickoff man I can be for Coach Rule and our team this year.
As a punter, is there a statistical mark in some way you're looking to hit in that punting or whatever?
Yeah, this summer I went across and worked with a bunch of different kicking coaches, and I kind of learned that numbers kind of are really situational and circumstantial based. Some punter might have twice as many pooch punts, like inside the 20 punts, as another guy, so you have less opportunity just to rip long punts down the field. So obviously you want to have net punt. My goal is over 42 yards. And in gross punt, I want to break the school record if I can, 46.57 I believe, but I want to just do what I can to help our team. If I get put out there at 100 pooch punts and 0 long punts this season, then that's perfectly fine by me. I just want to do what I can to help the team. But yeah, obviously there's players around the country who all have different coaches and they have different ways of doing things. Some coaches go for it on fourth down more than others. So it's all situational based, but there are certain marks, like you should be able to get above 40 net punt, above 44 gross average usually if you're one of the elite guys. Yeah, I think even today there was a situation we were running situations and I wasn't completely locked in on what down it was, and I could have done something differently on a field goal, but just being able to go out there and show the guys maybe some of the mistakes I made early on and how to avoid those. I just remember when I was a younger kid how much I looked up to the older guys, and I just want to keep that perspective in mind because there's a lot of things off the field that these kids are going through right now that everyone on the outside kind of just sees them for their play, but they're still people, they still have lives, and so if I can mentor some kids off the field, maybe pick them up when they're down, if they're homesick, help them through that. That's something that I struggled with, and I really want others to maybe push through that, and I hope that I can help them with that a little bit.
Are you the holder too?
Yep, yeah, I'm working holding really hard. It's really important for punters to be able to hold, especially at a high level, so I can give Timmy and Tristan a fair shot at every field goal that they have to attempt.
What do you see out of those guys, not asking you to break down the competition, but just like their mentality this game?
Yeah, it's a really awesome competition, honestly. There's no bitterness. There's no one kid makes it, the other one's sitting back there hoping the other one misses. We're both cheering each other on. They're brothers. And I really am impressed with both of them. They've come out here and they've done really well in camp so far. They've worked really hard this summer and it's showed off. And we're kicking on grass, we're kicking on turf. We're doing all sorts of different training for all the different types of surfaces we'll play on, and they've handled that really well. Tristan's done a really good job of coming into college and stepping up right away. And it's really hard as a freshman to be all the way there mentally and have the confidence, but he's done a great job with that. And Timmy's just a smooth, steady veteran who's been doing this a long time, and he doesn't get fazed by much. So it's been really good so far, and I'm excited to see how it plays out the rest of fall camp.
As guys, personality-wise, how similar, how different are these to Timmy and Tristan?
Oh man, they are very far. The age gap is like 6 years, I think. So they're not too similar. I mean, we're all hanging out during fall camp, and we're all kind of doing the same thing. So it's kind of hard to get a read on what they do off the field. But throughout the summer, we all hung out together, went golfing, did fun things like that. And so I would say they both have a drive to be really successful at kicking, which is the most important thing to me. At the end of the day, that's why we're here. We're playing Nebraska football. But Tristan's a little more of a young buck, so you can tell that he hangs around his freshman friends a lot. And Timmy's in with a lot of the older guys on the team. So it's a really good room that we have right now with Marco and Timmy. I call them the senior citizens of the room. And Tristan's a young kid, and he's just getting brought up. So it's been really fun.
How's the overall grind of camp? I know that there's maybe some things you don't go through that some of the linemen do, but I'm guessing you have a vantage point as to what this camp's like, maybe compared to the previous coaching staff and the previous school you were at. What have you kind of seen in terms of the grind?
Yeah, it's definitely a grind. Staying in the dorms, you're kind of here all day, every day for weeks, but it sets ourselves apart. It's something that we can take pride in. At the end of the day, when we line up versus opponent, you know that you did more to earn the win than someone else did, and you put in more work than someone else did. And that's something that I really like, and I really love it. I love how hard it is. I love coming here every day, sitting in meetings till 10 o'clock at night, because I know at the end of the day, it's what it takes to win, and that's what it takes to win in the Big Ten Conference when the margins for error are so small. It'd be a shame if we got 5 months from now and we weren't where we were record-wise, and you could look back and be like, man, I wish I would have worked harder then. That would be too late. So we are taking every measure right now to put our best step forward in terms of effort, and I really appreciate that, and I'm really excited to see what we can do this year.
Do you sense that the team's working harder than it has in the past? And we're on the team last year.
Yeah, for sure. I think everyone's really bought in, and I'm really proud of a lot of the leaders on the team who've stepped up. There's ups and downs. We're all human. There's days where it's hot and it's long, and those have been the awesome times where leaders like Jeff and MJ and Isaac, I can go on and on, but those guys are stepping up and they're pushing everyone else to be the best that they can vocally, but also by the way that they run their practice and by the effort that they give. It really is inspiring to other guys.
You maybe answered this, sorry, take a different direction if you want, but how excited are you to be able to be healthy and fun?
Yes.
This season, it was one thing after another.
Yeah, it was. Last season was tough injury-wise, but I'm really excited to be healthy, and I'm down 15 pounds as well, so I feel a lot more explosive than I did last year, and that's just a complete credit to Coach Campbell and Coach Christian for all the work that they've done for us. Coach Christian's the best nutritionist in the country. We have the largest nutrition staff in the country. They are constantly harping on us about the things that we need to do to get back and healthy and ready to go. Hydration, eating healthy, eating vegetables, taking all of our vitamins. And then Coach Campbell, obviously, with all the running, all the lifting, but also the mobility piece has been huge. I know the guys have talked about that before. And the focus on injury prevention has been enormous. And that's something that I've already seen with other guys, but I can feel it with myself. I mean, I hear it all the time. Guys are talking about how good they feel. This is the best they've felt playing football in a long time. And I can say the same for myself, certainly.
I feel like you're in a better position, to avoid the kind of, because the stuff that happened to you last year was was in games, right? I mean, it was running
Yep.
after a run,
Yeah.
position to avoid that.
Yeah, for sure. I sprained my ankle 3 times last season on my plant foot, and so this summer I worked a lot of ankle mobility movement, and that's simply just like walking on my ankle sideways and stretching them out. There's all sorts of things that I can do for that. Coach Hobbs is a certified physical therapist, so he was working with me during lifting this summer to work on a lot of things like that, prehab-wise, and so I feel better than I ever have right now. My shin splints are completely gone. Everything is rocking and rolling. So knock on wood, it stays that way, but I'm sure it will.
Good. All right.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, we'll
See
see
you
you.
around.
It's good. We're in the dorms, obviously, but I've enjoyed that experience, just getting together with all the guys at night, just kind of playing cards usually. But yesterday was a nice day off. Got to have a little break from the dorm life, but we had to come back, so got one more week.
You're obviously a college football veteran by this point. Can you describe some of the kicker battles that you've been in over the years? What goes into that? How you approach it?
Yeah. Well, when I was at my old school Furman, going into my junior year, I had been the backup the previous 2 years, and they brought in I was a walk-on at Furman, and they brought in a kid that was on partial scholarship. So I kind of had to battle him out there, and ended up winning that job. And then it was the same competition the next year. And then when I got here, obviously they had another freshman kicker that competed with me. So this is nothing really that new, but it's good work. I mean, competition's always just getting people better. So.
How do you kind of balance, wanting to compete, while you're in that spot versus, wanting to be a good teammate, wanting to give tips, something that is that kind of a balancing act for you?
Yeah, it can be tough. Like sometimes you think if you're competing that the guys want each other to miss, but I don't really view it that way. I try to compete with myself, and I don't usually try and want him to do bad. I want him to do as good as he does. I'm competing with myself, or else if I'm too concerned on what he's doing, that's going to get in my head mentally, and I don't want that. So I just focus on myself, what I can do to improve each kick and whatnot, and try not to worry as much as possible on what he's doing, other than just hoping he does good just for his sake.
There's an age difference there too. You kind of see that just interacting with the guy who's just a freshman here too.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I remember when I was a freshman, I used to think the seniors were so old, and I mean, I'm sure he looks at me like I'm real old because I'm 23, he's 18. But as you get older, I kind of don't even really view age on the team, so I kind of just assume these freshmen are the same age as me. I sometimes forget that, but yeah, he acts like a freshman a little bit, but he's pretty mature for his age, and I enjoy working with him and spending time with the freshmen. And really, most of the freshmen I'm around, I've noticed kind of the same thing. They've kind of noticed they need to mature and be ready, because we're not slowing down for anyone. They got to catch up.
What's just your impression of Tristan and what he can do, just kicking the ball, his ability?
Yeah, he's obviously a really good kicker. He's got a big leg, and like I said, he's fun to work with. He's just competition. I enjoy it. He's a really nice kid, so I enjoy just spending time with him and just getting to know him and kick with him. So it's been fun.
Is there anything specifically you worked on in the offseason?
Well, over the summer we would just go out as a specialist group and just get live operations, just snap, hold, kick, usually out in the stadium work. And I mean, I noticed a significant difference from just the spring to the summer of just cleaning up the operation, and I think we've carried that into this fall camp. I mean, there's still a little bit of room to go, but I mean, right now we're miles ahead of where we were in the spring, at least what I think. So it was good getting that work in the off season to prepare for fall camp.
Can you describe what evaluation you're going through in camp? Is it a certain number of pressure kicks, or how do they sort of tell you that you guys are being evaluated?
Yeah, we just go through, we chart some certain kicks during practice, and some of those are in the field goal team period. So when we got the O-line and D-line rushing us, and the O-line protecting, obviously. So it's just a set of kicks throughout practice that all right, we're charting these, and then we just go from there.
How do you feel like you perform in those?
I feel like I've done pretty well, especially in the team periods. I've been happy, but I still think both me and him can do a little bit better, but I've been pleased with how we've been kicking it so far.
All right.
Thank you guys.
this? I mean, Coach Rule and Coach Coop kind of praise you for your work so far. How much does this coaching staff just fit you and you fit them?
Yeah, I love this coaching staff. I really do. I admire and I trust Coach Coop and Coach Rule and this whole staff. They really bring out the best out of people, and they've definitely brought the best out of me.
What have they done to challenge you to get better, and how have you done it?
They've showed me what it takes to be a leader and just to work your hardest,
How much harder do you feel like you guys are? I mean, you've been here for, I think it's your 4th year. How much harder do you think you guys are working just in the practice area?
I think we've always worked hard, but I think they brought out a different side of everybody. I think there's a level of trust with this staff that we can give everything we have, and they're going to take care of us.
What side have they brought out?
A good side. Sorry, you gotta speak up. My ears clogged right now. I'm getting a cold. Second week of camp.
Coach Rule mentioned you really liked your mentality the other day. I'm just wondering, what is your mentality? How do you approach, especially particularly this game?
Fall camp is tough, and so obviously I come into camp and I'm taking it one day at a time. I'm the kind of person that gets here, and I'm like, get to lunch, go as hard as you can, and when you get to lunch, you get a breather. So I come in every day. I'm just go as hard as you can.
Have you always had that kind of spaced out like that?
I've always tried to, but I think this staff has really brought it out in me. So
I think you said in the spring you wanted to start this year faster than you started last year.
Mm-hmm.
How important was your summer in building up to this fall? The runway this.
It was big for me, and obviously it's year 4 for me. So I would hope that I have an idea of football and how to play by now. So I think that's helped me a lot.
What did your summer look like? What were you doing this summer?
Just working out with Coach Campbell and watching film. So.
Last year you played more in that nickel spot.
Yep.
Coach Rule mentioned now that you're fully the safety. How's that kind of transition been for you?
I grew up playing safety, so it wasn't a big deal for me. And I still get in the box, and I still play with the linebackers some, and I'm in the post playing safety a lot. So it wasn't a big change for me, honestly.
Do you have a preference over?
Oh no, I like the spot I'm in right now.
There's a lot of guys who have come up, but Deshaun Singleton's a name that's popped up a bit. What have you seen out of him?
He's had a great camp so far, and he's made huge strides since last year. And he's one of those guys that is here and he's working all the time. In the summer, he's here, he's watching film with me, we're working out, doing extra. He works his ass off.
Do you feel like you've grown into the leadership role now?
Yeah, I have. I feel like I have, yeah.
What does that mean? What kind of other duties have you taken on?
It's just really taking pride in being a leader in the DB group. That's where it starts, is being a leader with my position group. And then you kind of just go from there, and hopefully I want to be a leader of this defense.
What does that leadership look like for you when you're out on the practice field?
It's holding guys accountable to the standard, and guys holding me accountable to the standard. As an older guy, I've seen a lot. I've been through different practices with different coaches, and now that we have this standard set, I got to keep guys accountable, and they got to keep me accountable.
How long did it take for you and your teammates to maybe acclimate to this way the rule does things? So immersive and so many little details and so many little things to do. How long did it take?
It took a while. I mean, especially for us older guys, I think it was easier for the younger guys because that's all they knew. For us older guys, it took us a little bit to really figure out the whys and what Coach Rule did. But now that we've got it figured out, it's good.
When you guys came into training camp, this camp, did it feel like it was all locked into place, or was there still a little bit more learning to do?
I mean, there's always more learning to be done. It never stops. Every day we learn new things.
Yeah, I think what's it like seeing a guy like Tommy, last year gets relegated to a reserve role and switches positions and now popping back the way he has?
Yeah, I'm super proud of Tommy. He's become a leader in the DB group. He works so hard. He does everything right, and he's a great player.
What becoming more of a leader, is that something that came naturally to you, or is that more of a conscious decision, like I could go into the same way you want to do?
I don't know. I mean, I've always kind of felt like I've had it in me. I just think after 4 years, it's really come out more and more each year.
What kind of a role do you have on special teams?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm always going to have a role on special teams, so I'll play on as many as I can.
As you guys get ready to start the season on the road, a couple games on the road, a conference game, another Power 5 opponent, how much, I know there's always emphasis on special teams, but how much added emphasis, or what's the mindset in players' minds about how important that could be and get you guys over the top and off to a good start?
Well, I think a good special teams is what makes a good team, and so I think there's a huge emphasis on it. I've learned that in my previous years, but this year it's going to be very important, and I'm always going to want to be a part of it because I think you have a good special teams, you have a good team. Thanks, guys.